Good evening, and thank you so much for stopping by. Today we'll be reading from the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 4. And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. And today we'll be speaking about Lois Vogel Sharp and how that she's using her tongue of deception to continue money drives in the early spring, which she's been doing for the last 4 years since she's purchased her land. She also said it's 124 acres, but sometimes she makes it more, sometimes she makes it less. It depends on what video you watch, but her older videos have always said that she actually had more land. But as she's going on with her deception of all the things that are going on in the world, and she's praying for a crash again so that money will fall and that the gold and silver will rise again, which is mathematically impossible because there's not enough gold or silver to sustain the economy of the world at this time. Now you might say, oh, now Kim, where do you know all that from? Well, something called finance. And anybody who is interested in world finance and world economy, you can feel free to read up on that. I enjoy economic things. I enjoy finance, so I do get a chance to read up on it. And I would suggest you do it also because if you listen to Lois Vogel Sharp, who is 100% a fear monger and a non-prophet, although she says she's a prophetess, she's not a prophet because none of the things that she's ever said has ever come to pass. As she had the crash in 2019 was supposed to happen in December before 2020. Thank God it did not come to pass. Now there's a new crash that she's talking about. And once again, pushing the gold and the silver because a lot of economists are saying, not a lot, economists have wished that gold would go up to $100,000 an ounce, a troy ounce, and then silver would be coming at $50,000. Just ridiculous amounts of money. But think about what they're saying. They're saying that there's a dollar that exists that would monetize gold and silver to amounts that are historically unheard of. So that doesn't quite sound right, but I digress. We're talking about Lois now. We're not talking fully of the economy. She continues to push money drives in early spring to late spring. Then in summer, she'll do a few things because the land is thought out. She'll do a few things, a few self-improvements, land improvements. And then come December, she says not too much about, quote, her special land projects that she's doing. And then she starts again with the money grab, early spring. I wanted to go on record. She right now has a half a road. What does that mean? That means that nobody can get up there to build anything. She wants a sanctuary in. Okay, that's awesome. Build a sanctuary, but you need a road to do it. She also likes to talk about the landing that she talks about. So that landing has 3 basic garages that at this time do not have any kind of drywall in there. There's not a lot of flooring. It's just bare minimum buildings that were pre-made, that were just dropped on the land. Now that's where the cars can get to, and then you have to take some sort of 4x4 or something up to the actual land where a sanctuary is supposed to be built, and then people's housing. She's saying it's going to cost millions of dollars. And she just said this in one of her last videos, millions of dollars for a couple of hundred people. Well, you can do the math on that exactly how much for, let's say, 200 people have to put in for, let's say, a $5 million project. She's not reaching an audience that has $20 or $30 million to drop. Well, if I had $20 or $30 million, you wouldn't drop it in someone else's project, would you? You'd start your own. I'm just saying, think about this clearly. Unfortunately, Lois pushes these things and fearmongers, telling people to get plenty of food and do all these things just so that she can have a comfortable lifestyle and parade around that she's making this special place for Christians. And it angers her when she's called on the carpet, when people email her or talk directly to her and ask her, where have all these funds gone for almost 4 years and you don't even have a full road? I happen to live on a mountain, And I'm not playing. It is an actual mountain. I live on a mountain, and I watch people create beautiful housing within months. And we don't have the best road. In fact, it's got nothing. It's not gravel. It's actually like a brick road when you come up here. And I'm sitting here watching somebody who yesterday had a huge hole in the house, and now they have a wall, a gorgeous wall that they just put up. And I'm watching this, and my mouth drops to the floor when I listen to the uttermost foolishness of Lois Vogel Sharp, and how she has not been able to even get a road up. That's the first thing you do, is get the road up. The next thing you want to do is make sure that you have everything surveyed properly. You want to make sure you have an architect. You want to make sure you have an engineer. And none of those things has come to pass. She said she put in a spring. Well, they already had a spring. How hard is that? They didn't have to dig that much. That's not that much. But simple, basic things, so that even, let's say you did want to invest in this, you can't even get up there to see it. And then you've got to have this hidden place, and only certain people know, only certain people that have given a certain amount of money, that she's calling her core group. And then she also said she has some kind of dome that they've built, a huge dome. She couldn't even tell you what they've planted. That was in a few other videos. It was just like, they planted something, or I don't know. What? It doesn't make sense. Be careful. If you're listening to her, please be careful. She's also going on about all these negative things about what's happening in the United States right now. And this is a time, as I've always said, is to reflect on Christ and follow him, not somebody just making up things so that they can feel better and have a fun life playing prophetess, which she, once again, is not, because she's already prophesied or predicted. Sometimes she likes to call it a crash of 2019. That did not happen. The 2017 earthquake in California did not happen. Now she's trying to back away and say, well, I can't tell you the time. She can't tell you the time. She can't tell you what's going on, because she's not a prophetess. We've already gone through this. And in Genesis, it's very specific as to who a prophet actually is. And I'm not going to read it today, but I will probably put it in the description. And I do apologize if it's Exodus and not Genesis, but I believe it's Exodus. But it tells you exactly what a prophet is supposed to be doing, and she's not doing that. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Also, Zephaniah 3:17 also asked to hear about Dr. Patricia King. Yes, that video is coming out. Yes, I did learn a lot about her, and I have listened to her in the past, but so watch out for that video coming next. Thank you so much. Have an awesome evening.